Recording. Here we go. Hello and welcome, everyone. Tiffin, actually, will you go ahead and pull up the presentation as well? Hello, and welcome. Welcome to our 2019 Empowered Life series from Essential Wellness. My name is Aisha Harley, and it is a pleasure to be with all of you today. We are committed to bringing you the very best essential oil education to help support your mind, your body, and even your spirit with essential oils. I am absolutely thrilled because we have two phenomenal humans in the house today presenting with us, and I love them both dearly. We have Tiffin Kreger-Bryant, who is a doTERRA diamond. She has a background in luxury sales and management. She is also a skin cancer survivor, which really lends to her passion about the importance of skincare for all of us. And she lives in Portland with her two amazing pups and her husband, Steve. Welcome, Tiffin. We are excited to have you today. And she will be presenting with the amazing Dr. Jodee Marie Anderson. Jodee has a degree from Stanford University. She is an MD. She worked at OHSU running the NICU unit for 20 years and has recently retired and is now working in aesthetic medicine. She is the owner of Fresh Faces in Northwest Portland, where she combines the very best of Western medicine combined with natural remedies and all that doTERRA has to offer. So combined, these two women are a powerhouse of information, and they have an amazing class for all of you. So I'm going to hand it on over to you. Thank you both for being here. I super appreciate it. And go ahead and take it away.
Hi, how's the sound? Can we hear?
Sound is great.
Welcome, welcome. Hi. Okay, let's see if I can get, there it is. There's us. That's Jodee and I. So I should just introduce us. I'm gonna try to navigate this so it's at least interesting and fun as we go through the webinar. Okay, so today it's time to glow. Obviously the slide was for Monday night, but what we want you to think about is you. And we want you to think about, when you look in the mirror, what do you love? And we want you to think about healthy skin. And when you love the skin that you're in and you love what you're doing, it's going to be pretty easy for you to share that. So we'd also like you to think about some of the people in your lives that this might be meaningful for. You know, I have a couple people that have struggled with scarring. As a skin cancer survivor, I have 37 places on my face where I have had 7 stitches or more, a couple where I've had more than 20. And doTERRA has changed that. I had those scars, they were there, and I really worked on them afterwards. And so what we're going to show you today can be very, very powerful, both emotionally and physically. And it's all about what you're going to invest in you. So we want you to think about glowing from the inside out. And with that, we want you to think about an intention, right? Because we're going to show you some of the high vibe skin science materials. And in those materials, we have a place, it's called a prescription pad, and we designed it to put it on your mirror. So it makes it very easy for this habit, this routine, this skincare ritual to take shape in your life, just to easily put it in there so it becomes a very strong habit. And so we have this here that everything happens in the universe, everything that happens in the universe begins with intention. Louise Hay wrote that. So we would like, when you start this skincare, there's a little thing, and it's a little difficult to see. You might see my face in the little corner. There's a little prescription pad, and at the top, Jodee's going to talk about it a little more, but it says to set an intention. We really want to set that container for this call. And because this call is only an hour, I'm not going to go as in-depth as I did on Monday night, but I really want to give you time for Jodee to go through the materials, because it is the meat and what's really going to revolutionize what you're doing. So we want you to start the day with the experience that you want to create. We want this, I want this is why it's big letters. We want this for you, because so many times, I don't know how many of you, I'll just use me as an example. My cell phone goes off and I turn the alarm off, right? Because my cell phone's actually my alarm. So it's kind of not near my bed, not near my head, but it's in my bedroom, it's within reach. And as soon as it goes off and I shut the alarm off, do I get right out of bed and do what I'm supposed to do? Or do I maybe scroll social media? Do I maybe let the day start to take me? So what we'd love for you to do is, the second your eyes are open, my friend Doreen says this, eyes open, oil's on. So rather than reaching for your phone, reach for an oil, set your day. Then when you go in, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, this is where you're going to set your intention while you're cleansing, while you're scrubbing, while you're toning, and then you're just going to wash away, right? You're really going to get into that where you set your intention and you give yourself permission to give yourself the day that you want, knowing that when your cup is full, it's super easy for you to pour into others, right? So then at the end of the day, the bottom of the prescription pad, it has a gratitude place. We'd also really love for you to think of washing the day away as you look deep into your own eyes. Send gratitude to the things that served your highest good, and everything else, wash it away. Just let it go right down the drain, right? So you're just releasing. And think about these habits. Think about what these do. When you just take that time and you look directly into your eyes, and the intention at first can be like, wash my face once a day, wash my face twice a day, try to remember to scrub, try to remember to do the steps, try to remember this. It can be gentle. This isn't a hard thing. But we really want you to start loving the mirror exercise too. Say good things to yourself. Really, really give yourself permission to glow and to be your most confident self. So then we go into the next thing, which is healthy skin is so much more than a flawless complexion. It is the flow of a self-care ritual or a routine. It can be calming, it can be soothing, it can be nourishing. What I'm going to show you today, Jodee did a video on essential wellness. Her video was 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, and she did the full set of this. So asking you to add 3 to 4 minutes to your day where you'll start feeling some of the side benefits of essential oils, where you're calming, you're soothing, you're nourishing your skin. Just look at this and think about how it supports the foundation of doTERRA's pyramid. Eating right, exercise is going to get blood flow going, rest and managing your stress. This is very soothing. So at night, when you're oiling up, before you go to bed, in the soothe phase, just think about the side benefits of that. Also, by using these skincare products, you're reducing your toxic load immensely. There are so many chemicals that we put on our face, on our bodies, before we even get to the day. So if you can reduce that toxic load, you're really looking to set yourself up for massive success, more, less stress, right? So, all right, let's go here. So, and this is the top secret, right? This is the note of the day. You can screenshot this. And obviously it's the day. It was the night when we did this. Healthy skin is an inside job. All the work that you do on the outside is great, but the biggest impact you can make, Jodee's going to talk about the 80-20 rule. The biggest impact that you can make is getting really healthy in here, because then this glow is just a reflection of that. So I have, I can't go backwards. I have the great privilege of introducing the very brilliant Dr. Jodee Anderson. She's going to take it away from here.
Thank you, Tiffin. Every time you do that, I'm reminded of how much better my day goes when I set that intention. And mine sometimes is as simple as, I'm going to wash my face this morning and I'm going to do it again tonight. But it makes a difference in the way the whole day goes. I love how you've framed the prescription pad. Okay, so this is the overview. We are going to be teaching from the tear pad and the materials that we've created. They're available at Your Oil Tools. And we're going to make this make sense so that you can apply it to yourself. And for those of you that want to share it with other people, you're able to use it in that regard as well. This is kind of a complex slide, but I don't want it to feel complex to you. I am actually really frustrated with what the beauty industry does to us. I feel like we are told several non-truths when we come up trying to figure out how to take care of our skin, our face, our beauty. I feel like we get tricked. I feel like people are not using science to explain things to us. And it renders us susceptible to quick fixes, overnight improvements, things that are frankly not going to work. So we put this together so that we could simplify and clarify what needs to be done to restore your skin to health. This isn't about taking someone who's 50 and making them look 20. We love 50. We want you to feel amazing at 50. And the difference between 50 amazing and 50 meh is really just about getting your skin back to health. And we can show you how to do that. So that's what a lot of this is about. I want to circle back for a second. Tiffin and I started collaborating about 10 months ago on this. And here's how it went. So I have to have science to really say anything out loud to you because I do not want to propagate any more lies. I want to tell you the truth about how things work. And I don't have years and years of experience with essential oils. They didn't teach me much about essential oils in my upbringing at Stanford Medical Center. That doesn't mean I don't value them. But when it came to understanding what it took to be healthy, it wasn't easy for me just to take someone's suggestion. So when Tiffin and I started talking about skin, and you can see her, she does glow. Her skin is amazing. And, I knew that she had all of this scarring from her cancer. And she told me, Jodee, frankincense, cedarwood, she named the oils that she was using on her face. And I sat there and I was like, I don't know. I got to look this up. Where's the research? Where's my PubMed? Well, everything that she intuitively determined would help her with her skin has a lot of research to back it up. It took me a good month to kind of sort through everything she was teaching me from her experience and to find that science to back it up, and it exists. And that was really motivating for me because all of a sudden I realized there were natural products that were not pharmaceutical grade that could potentially be really, really good for our skin, our bodies, decrease our toxic load, that were coming from doTERRA that I could see results with. So I run a skincare clinic, and we use pharmaceutical grade products. And when people come into me, they are coming in because they want to see results. They oftentimes those are overnight results. They've got a wedding next week and they want to look great. They want this quick turnaround. And I tell all of them, 80% of how our faces look are what we're doing at home. It's our daily routine. That impacts your skin health more than anything I can do in my office, from the lasers to the microneedling to the injections, whatever. If people just took care of their skin every day in a systematic way, those would be better results than anything I could achieve. So that's the first 80-20 rule. What you're doing at home is going to improve your skin by 80%. And once we teach you what the steps 1 through 6 are, that will make a lot of sense. People also come into me all the time wanting these fast results, but it's like Band-Aids on what they're getting. So, if somebody was to get Botox, it's a Band-Aid for a wrinkle, when really those wrinkles are happening because their collagen's breaking down. Collagen breaks down when we're exposed to ultraviolet radiation, we're exposed to pollution, we don't sleep well, we don't eat well, there's too much inflammation, our toxic load is high, we're too stressed. It sounds a lot like that wellness pyramid that Tiffin pulled up. When we're not addressing our self-care and lifestyle needs, it shows up, and one of the first places we see it is on our face. And oftentimes, I think when people are, our age and they're living a really stressful life, their diets are maybe the wine diet. I hear about that a lot. Those kinds of diets are not going to lend themselves to refreshed, healthy, taut, wrinkle-free, non-damaged skin. So the other 80-20 rule is kind of getting us to what you're putting in your body. It's a big effect, and it shows up on what's coming out on your face. So I'm going to break this down even further, but this is what the back side of our tear pad looks like, or the front side of our tear pad looks like. So let's break it down.
Oh, Jodee, you muted.
I need the next slide.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you. So the skin. Again, we're not trying to make skin younger. We're just trying to restore it to health, which will result in smooth, hydrated, firm top, evenly toned, and resilient skin. To do that, you have to know what's damaging your skin. So the unifying theory in aging and in skin damage comes down to free radicals. Free radicals, you hear about these all the time, right? Very simply spoken, this is a stable molecule. It's hit by something like a UV radiation beam. It breaks off an electron. That electron is wild, and it's going to wreak havoc in your body. First, it's going to attack your cell membranes, then it attacks the nucleus, it ruins cell function, and eventually it gets down to your DNA. So let's think that one through for a minute. DNA is a blueprint for every cell that you make. Your skin cells are turning over every 28 days. If you damage the DNA in a skin cell, the next one that's produced, the new one has to come up 28 days, is damaged. And maybe that produces a brown spot on your face or a wrinkle or worse. Damaged DNA is where a lot of our mutant cells come from. And we need to be thinking about how to protect ourselves from free radicals for that reason. So what leads to free radicals? UV radiation, pollution, poor diet, inflammation, stress, lack of sleep. Again, that takes me back to that wellness pyramid. Self-care is healthcare. Those steps are so important. What do we do about the free radicals that are being generated, though? If they're happening just when you digest, which they are, your body has a lot of natural ways to sop them up, but there are additional things you can do. And the biggest way to protect yourself from free radicals are antioxidants. What's antioxidant? Vitamin C, vitamin E, resveratrol, green tea polyphenols, all your polyphenols. There's a giant list of antioxidants that can help to protect you from free radicals. Next slide. Matter of fact, these are a number of them. Lutein, xanthan, coenzyme Q10. I could read the whole list, or you could pull up the ingredients in your lifelong vitality pack and you would see this whole list. This is the critical 80-20 rule. 80% of how someone's skin looks is related to what they're taking in. So no matter how many antioxidants you put on top of your skin, they won't be effective at all if your tissue level is subpar. And the way you get your tissue level to adequate levels is by taking these internally. So this is equivalent, they say, to 12 servings of, I would say, fruits and vegetables, hopefully grown in rich soil that's organically grown, that are picked fresh and you're able to eat right away. And then you just need 12 servings. I can't quite get that all the time. I do get these nutrients by taking my lifelong vitality pack. So if you're talking about your own skin, the first step for anyone is to be sure that they're getting the lifelong vitality pack every single day. If you're talking to someone else, and you don't have to be a dermatologist or a skin expert to be able to say to someone, these are nutraceuticals. These are the ingredients we need to feed our skin with. And it's really simple. They're all packaged up very inexpensively for $80 a month. Or I guess you could buy them all individually for like $6.50 or something at the vitamin store. I think that's what it breaks down to. These all come all prepackaged for us. And this is exactly the first step in taking good care of our skin. Next slide. So, okay, that was like step one. This is step one. This is the cleanse step. Now, a lot of people think cleansing your skin means using a cleanser that's going to leave your skin squeaky clean. That's not what we're going for. That is actually stripping your skin of its natural oils and fats that are necessary for the skin. The purpose of cleansing the skin is twofold. First, let's get the dirt and bacteria off the skin. Second, we actually want to strengthen the skin barrier function. You don't do that by stripping it. You do that by getting the dirt and the bacteria off, but not using products that are going to break down the skin barrier. So here's an example of oils that work differently. Olive oil applied to the skin over and over will break down the skin barrier and result in a dermatitis. Rose essential oil will actually reestablish the skin barrier. It protects from water loss. There's fantastic research to support this. So it's important the oil that you're choosing to apply to your skin they have different functions as well. In terms of the products for this, the only one in this list that's a little bit toward the squeaky side is the HD Foaming Face Wash. If you're someone with acne or with rosacea, that's a great choice for you. But complexing that with something like rose oil will keep you from breaking down your skin barrier, which is important. All right, so that's your first step, getting the dirt and the bacteria off your face, but not breaking down your skin barrier. Next slide. Step 2, scrub. At the end of this, I'm going to ask you to remember the 6 steps. So far, we're at cleanse, now we're at scrub. There's a lot of misinformation out there about scrubbing your face. Many of us were told to be gentle. Don't scrub your face. Some of us were told to go grab that St. Ives with the crushed up apricot pits in it and scrub all over your face with that. That's a great way to scratch up your face and actually cause some damage. There's a middle ground in this, and there's a reason to scrub your face. So the middle ground, I love the invigorating scrub. I also love the reveal system. The invigorating scrub, for those of you who are not scrubbing, is a great place to start. It has jojoba beads in it that kind of melt into your skin, but it's abrasive enough that it will help you remove dead skin cells. That's really important. So scrubbing also has 2 effects. You remove dead skin cells, and by stimulating the epidermis, it sends signals down to the dermis to actually remodel. So let's play with the skin for a minute here. Epidermis, dermis. The epidermis are the flat little layers that slough off every 28 days. The dermis is where your collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid lives. This is the structure. This is what prevents wrinkling and sagging. So when you scrub the epidermis, it sends growth factors down to the dermis and tells it to remodel, which is we want our collagen and elastin constantly remodeling. So it's stimulating for all of your skin when you give it a light scrub everywhere. Some of the mistakes that we see with scrubbing, especially for those of us with a little bit of rosacea, we tend to take the scrub and we rub in one place, and it's usually right there. What we want to do, I love Tiffin, woo! What we want to do is start on the outside of your face. And you'll scrub along the jawline, you'll scrub your neck, you'll scrub around your mouth, scrub up at your hairline, scrub in your eyebrows, especially if you're losing a little hair at the outside, scrub your under eye, and then scrub the rest of your face. The scrubbing step takes a minute. Tiffin and I both recommend, if you are a daily showerer, to leave the cleanser and the scrubber in the shower. It just takes care of those first 2 steps. This is different than cleansing your face also. You want to scrub after you've got the dirt and bacteria off your face, so you're not scrubbing that into your face. So again, you are stimulating collagen turnover and you're removing dead skin cells. The Spotlight Essential Oil for this, I have frankincense. I could have put that anywhere in the 6 steps. I like it here because frankincense, it improves cellular function. So one of the ways it does that is by encouraging skin cell turnover. And healthy skin cells should be turning over every 28 days. So it helps to get you back to that state of health. Next slide. The 3rd step is toning. Now, I didn't used to believe in toner. I thought it was one more way I was being lied to by the beauty industry. In fact, there's a lot of research to suggest toning is really important. So I have to eat crow again. Toning does 2 things. It controls oil production and it balances your pH. So in terms of oil production, you have pores all over your face. There's a normal amount of oil everybody should be producing. Some of us are underproducers. Some of us are overproducers. You don't want either situation. You like healthy production. That's what toning kind of reestablishes, is healthy production of oil on your face. In terms of balancing the pH, this is actually critical. Any product you put on your face after this step will be absorbed or repelled. If your pH is normal, it will be absorbed. If your pH is off, which it will be after cleansing and scrubbing, you will repel any further product. So the next step after this is your activate phase. These are all the active products where you want to see, you're treating your skin with. You want as best penetration of those as you can get. So this toning phase is really important. I really love both the Barrage and the pore reducing toner. People have asked how to put these on. I like to spray the Barrage. I like to get it everywhere, and then I kind of take my hands and dry it. Again, if you go back to the video we have on Essential Wellness on the Facebook page, you can see me doing all of these steps in my silly way. But the tone step is really important. The spotlight essential oil here is geranium. I could have put cypress. Geranium will reduce oil production. Cypress would change some of the blood flow, so it also improves oil production and some of the tensile strength of the pores. Okay, next slide. Okay, so your first 3 steps, you're at cleanse, scrub, tone. This is your 4th step. This is the activate step. This is kind of the money step. So on the TerraPad on the back side, we broke down skin conditions into 5 possible problems. You could have combinations of these, but generally we're all dealing with aging, brown spots, redness, scarring, or breakouts. So this step is really designed to address which of those problems you're having, and you may add or remove things based on which of these things you're trying to address. This is where you're trying to use products that are going to stimulate collagen, encourage skin cell turnover, protect your DNA. So the products that we're recommending, the High Vibe Skin Serum is a hyaluronic acid. It's the micronized form, the smallest form you can get. It both hydrates you, and then it encourages your own glycosaminoglycan proteins to produce more hyaluronic acid. So after using this for about a month, your skin cells are starting to hang on to water better. The brightening gel. This is a doTERRA product that we love. Now, this has vitamin C in it. You could go to the grocery store, to Sephora, look online. You would find a lot of products with vitamin C in them. In order for vitamin C to do the 2 things it's touted to do, stimulate collagen, brighten dark spots, it has to be 20% ascorbic acid, and it has to be micronized so it can actually get down into the dermis. There is almost no over-the-counter vitamin C skincare product that's formulated to do that, which is one of the reasons I was doubting doTERRA when I went about this. I'm like, there's no way. This isn't medical grade. They didn't formulate this in a way where it's going to actually have that effect. I was wrong. So the brightening gel will both tighten your skin, it will promote collagen remodeling, and it will brighten dark spots. And we saw an improvement in both fine lines and wrinkles and in dark spots in the study that we did, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So the brightening gel is amazing for the entire face, the neck, and it will be absorbed best after you've done the cleanse, scrub, tone. For about 15 minutes, your skin's really opened up to this. Now, on the prescription pad that I'm going to show you at the end, we talk about where to use this. I end up using the brightening gel at night before bed. Some people use it during the day. Your next product on here is doTERRA's Anti-Aging Eye Cream. This comes in a long tube with a little roller ball at the end. This is great for a number of things. This is actually their skincare product they have the most research studies documented with. It has a number of botanicals that parallel the botanicals I'm seeing in my medical grade skincare lines. And it's super effective. I love this little story. So we had a cohort of almost 200 people that we taught our skincare classes to last December. Almost all of them underwent this Vizia skin analyzer, and I'll show you some pictures from that later. But in that, we look at the skin in 8 ways with a light that has UV light and polarized light and regular light. And we really define and measure and calculate things like fine lines and wrinkles. Well, this looks at the fine lines and wrinkles around the eye. We saw a huge improvement in those wrinkles over 3 months, only 3 months time, in people who were using the whole system, including the anti-aging eye cream. The funny thing is, I mean, it did reduce their eye wrinkles by over 30% in that time period on average. The funny thing is, we were teaching people to put the eye cream on starting here. You can see with my nice weak middle, not my middle, this is my ring finger, and tap across this way. Well, almost all of the people who came in, they saw a really big improvement in wrinkles right here, which means it was awesome because they were using it, but we didn't do a great job of describing the fact that it needed to be in equal amounts all the way under the eye. Luckily, we caught it at that 3-month time period, and we could teach people to bring it all the way across. I think it speaks to, the need to scrub this area, get the dead skin cells off, help it turn over, tone it. Don't forget about your under eye, and then take the product and go all the way under the eye. We also will use it not on the eyelid, but in that skin above the eyelid. Now, and Tiffin uses this in one more way that's really effective. So she keeps her tube in the fridge because the end of it has a little roller metal ball on it. Some people get, as we age, the fat pads in our face shrink, and the fluid as it flows around our eyes changes. And if those fat pads have shrunk in such a way that the fluid gets clogged up, it can be really helpful to move the fluid, especially first thing in the morning. So Tiffin will take that cold roller. Sometimes she'll use a little bit of cypress with this and the eye cream, and she'll dab that under her eye, and then she rolls it starting here, and she's doing it around the eye. And then remember, the fluid from the eye drains to the middle. The mistake people make is they push the fluid this way, it collects out here, and it comes back. The fluid drains to the middle. So that's the pattern that she uses. And that cold roller ball will shrink up the blood vessels as well. So it really helps to tighten the under eye skin first thing in the morning. The next product in this list is the tightening serum. I love the tightening serum. You're going to see a reduction in those fine lines and wrinkles that happen in your smile lines, around your eyes. This has frankincense in it, so you're getting a great stimulation of your skin cells, protection of your DNA. And it's something that's also you can apply everywhere. And then there are various essential oils that, depending on your skincare condition, we can recommend. The one I've spotlighted here is Yarrow Palm. Yarrow Palm is so much fun because it turns you blue. I like this one at night. I love the Laura Jacobs description about this one being like a magic carpet that flies in and takes out all your damaged cells. But the way to really think about it, and where the studies come from in this, is with a lot of our hyperpigmentation or the brown spots. So this is fantastic. If you're doing, you cleanse, scrub, tone, you've got about 15 minutes after that to get up the products into your face. I oftentimes will do my Yarrow Palm anywhere that I have brown spots. I'll do, I like Immortelle, and then I'll do my brightening serum, and then my tightening, and then my anti-aging eye cream. And then I just go to sleep with this big mask of loveliness on my face. Next slide. Okay, steps 1 through 4 right now. Cleanse, scrub, tone, activate, and now we're to soothe. Okay, so most of you have been taught to believe in moisturizers. Please don't. There are more people come into my office. I think we have like 4,000 people in the practice, and almost all of them come in and tell me their skin is dry and they need a moisturizer. They don't. They need their skin to be restored to health. Healthy skin hangs on to moisture. Now, while you're getting your skin restored to health, you may need some help. You may need emollients, hydrators, other ways to kind of moisturizers to keep the skin from getting dry. But once we get it healthy inside and out, it will actually hang on to its own water well enough that you won't be to the point where you're feeling like it's dry and you need moisturizers. The doTERRA Essential Skincare line comes with some great hydrators, and I've labeled them such here. So the anti-aging moisturizer is great. It's a little bit lighter. The Immortelle Hydrating Serum I love because it has Immortelle oil in it. So I think it's a great one at night. The hydrating cream is fantastic when you're in the stage of trying to restore your skin to health. I love trapping the oils in my face with that at night. So if I was using Yarrow Palm, my last step of all would be to put the hydrating cream on top of it. Or different times of the year or the month, we can get dry patches on our face, especially people with a history of eczema or people that have some rosacea can present with both oily and dry patches. The hydrating cream can be helpful. But here's what's helpful about all of these. It isn't the fact that they're like Vaseline and just trapping moisture in your skin. The reason these are helpful is because they're chock full of antioxidants, which is why we name this step Soothe. Antioxidants reduce inflammation in your skin. They absorb free radicals in your skin. They actually are going to protect your skin. They're going to calm your skin. So you've done this activation phase. You're really trying to get skin cell turnover, lift these browns, decrease these wrinkles. And now you want to say, and I still love you, and here are your antioxidants. All of these products, because they have essential oils in them, are chock full of antioxidants. They're all fantastic for your skin, not only to calm it, but they kind of bleed into my next step, which is to protect it. And I'll talk more about that. The Spotlight Essential Oil here is helichrysum. Helichrysum is fantastic at reducing redness and irritation. So let's say you're new to this and you do your cleanse, scrub, tone. You've done it for 72 hours is usually when we start to see the skin go, you've done that, and you've started to do some of these activation steps, and you feel like your skin is a little bit irritated. Helichrysum is fantastic. Just get it in your fingers and you can put it directly on your skin. It will help to calm it. Okay, the final step is protect. So cleanse, scrub, tone, activate, soothe, protect. This is where doTERRA ends and we need something else. Now I am begging doTERRA to come up with a fantastic sunscreen. What I consider a fantastic sunscreen means it's broad spectrum. So you get protection from UVA, UVB, infrared, HEDs. So any way that we can protect ourselves from any of the rays of light, radiation coming into our skin is helpful. It is also able to protect us at the maximum amount that a liquid can, which is an SPF 50. Does that give me 2% more protection than an SPF 35? Maybe, but that's worth it to me if we're talking about my skin health, the potential for melanoma, squamous cell. 2%, I'll take it. That's the maximum you can actually get out of a lotion. So don't believe anything above an SPF 50. The best skincare, the best sunscreens for your skin are also chock full of antioxidants like green tea polyphenols and vitamin C, because antioxidants also protect us from UV radiation, infrared, HEDs. The best sunscreens are also not chemical based. So the avobenzene, oxybenzones, all of those, well, first they have a shelf life on your face, and that's why you have to reapply them so much. But the chemicals can also cause reactions. And if we see an allergic reaction to sunscreens, it's often from those. It's also, I'm encouraging you to put sunscreen on your face a couple times a day. So I don't want that to be another chemical that you're introducing into your system. So the physical-based sunscreens are generally micronized zincs and titaniums, and they stay on the surface and reflect. The one that we recommend is the High Vibe Sheer sunscreen or the High Vibe Tinted sunscreen. Tiffin will be showing you a link later to get your hands on that if you want to. EWG score 1. There's others on the market that work great. So, as long as you're always thinking, because for me, my sunscreen in the morning is often a one-stop shop for me, meaning I cleanse, scrub, tone, and then I'm running out of time, or I'm not taking the time. If I can go straight to my sunscreen from that step, little mascara, I'm out the door, perfect. So cleanse, scrub, tone. My sunscreen gives me the antioxidants I need and the protection I need from the day. This sunscreen also has ceramide, so if I'm a little bit dry, it's going to keep my skin well conditioned. And the vitamin C in it is going to be treating some of my browns. So it covers steps 4, 5, 6 for me in a one-stop shop. So that's your protect step. So we've got our 6 steps: cleanse, scrub, tone, activate, soothe, protect. Okay, next slide. So then on the back of this, we've got a prescription pad, and we have you go through the 5 skin conditions and what you want to treat. To break this down pretty quickly, the first 3 steps, we would go through and pick the product for you and decide, is that AM, PM, and do we do that daily? Next slide. The next part of the prescription pad is the middle section. So the last 3 steps: activate, soothe, protect. And this is where we'd be clicking off morning or night or both, and how many times a day you'd be doing your activate steps and your soothe steps and your protect steps. Next slide. The final part of the prescription pad first talks about nourishing your skin. And this is important. Everybody, in my opinion, should be on the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I think there's value in, I used to be one of those that didn't like taking all the gel caps. I would try to take them all in the morning. The more I'm learning about the tissue level of antioxidants and how protective that is, the more I realize I need a frequent dose of antioxidants. So I am spacing my Lifelong Vitality Pack out again. I'm definitely taking it in the morning and the night so that I'm getting a constant high serum level of antioxidants. Also on here, I think Terrazyme is needed for everyone. I really like the idea of Terrazyme right before bed so we don't have those proteins sitting around creating inflammation in our guts. Probiotics, I think I've been taught that most of us need probiotics. I especially think about it with people who have rosacea because there's a mite associated with that. And for people with acne and breakouts, I think probiotics are really helpful. The deep blue polyphenols, again, helping to reduce inflammation. DDR prime, it's that frankincense support, supporting your skin cell turnover, supporting your DNA. If these skin cells are turning over every 28 days and you want to really support those, DDR prime makes a lot of sense. Now, collagen. The studies are level of evidence 6 and 4, meaning they're case-controlled studies. They're small scale, but it looks like in the study I'm thinking of, it was women aged 40 to 50. They took 2.5 grams of collagen per day for 6 weeks, and they did see an improvement in skin thickness on dermatoscope. So doesn't like it's going to hurt. It could potentially help. So I do recommend collagen 2.5 grams per day. I usually just get something inexpensive from Costco, Vital Proteins, and put them in my coffee. And then hydration, at least 80 ounces of water a day or more. Tiffin and I have tried to do more, and I've overdone it, so not too much, but 80 ounces per day is good. At the next line on this, it says gratitude. You know, at the top, Tiffin talked about setting your intention. At the bottom of this, imagine this hanging on your mirror. You've checked off all your boxes for the day, and you get to the last step there. This is uncomfortable, and Tiffin has taught me this. This is a time to look in the mirror at yourself and think about what you're grateful for. You know, I know Tiffin tells me that she's grateful she doesn't have the scars on her face anymore from all of the skin cancer that she has. When I look in the mirror, I'm actually right now, I'm grateful that I've taken the time to take care of myself. Of all the things Aisha teaches me, she talks a lot about how I can't pour from a half empty cup, how I've got to fill myself up first, and then I have more to give other people. And I'm grateful for those people in my life that are reminding me to take a little bit better care of myself. The next step on here are the essential oils for skin. So depending on your skin condition, we go through and we choose the essential oils that are going to be used for your skin. So one of the questions that comes up a lot is, well, when do I use those? The ideal time is when your skin is ready for it. Cleanse, scrub, tone. That's when I like to do oils. So usually I'll do mine at night, and I will put them all in a roller ball to keep it simple for myself. And I pick the ones that I need based on my skin condition. Carrier oil options. If you don't know what to do, stick with fractionated coconut oil. Jojoba oil, argan oil, and rosehip oil all have specific uses depending on the needs of your skin. But remember, not all oils are created the same, so choose these selectively. All right, next slide. All right, so the daily vibe. Let's talk about your skin for a minute. Next slide. Oh, Tiffin's showing oh, yeah, so what Tiffin is showing right there, and what this is a picture of, we have a lot of different products. We have products that are for you as the individual, and that's what this next part is getting into. Tiffin, is this $6.99 on your oil tools for this packet?
It is.
So you get our whole brochure that teaches you how to do each one of these steps, reminds you what they are, gives you the prescription on the back, but you also get all 5 rack cards. On the front of the rack card, we've gone through the pathology. We've described it to you. You can assign it to yourself. For example, I use the one for browns, the one for redness, the one for breakouts when I break out down here, the one for aging. And I don't have much scarring right now, but I keep that one in my back pocket. On the bottom of that card, I've explained why we think about doTERRA for each one of those conditions. Then on the back is your prescription pad, and it's already checked off for you, specific to your skin condition that you're trying to treat. This is a great place for you as an individual to start. This is how you would know which products to use for yourself, how to diagnose yourself. Then when you're ready, when you've filled your own cup and you're ready to share this with other people, these are great to work from, but that's where the TerraPad and the whole teaching kit comes in. And it's what she's holding up, that's the TerraPad. It also comes with 10 each of these rack cards. It comes with our prescription pad, so you can tear those off and help people understand what they need. This is a great way to help people know that they need to be on their lifelong vitality pack every day, how to order which skincare products every month. All right, so next slide. This is where you self-diagnose and you help other people diagnose, and these are what each of the 5 rack cards are based on. This is on the back side of the TerraPad. Okay, so go ahead and turn to the next slide. I can hear you, Suzanne. Thank you. So we talked about before and after results. I want to do this so that we are sure to get you a little bit more objective information. The Vizia looks at people's skin in 8 ways, and each of these means something different. So let me break this down to a couple of these. In the wrinkle one, what we're basically looking at are fine lines and wrinkles under the eye, and you get a score for that, a percentage of the skin that is wrinkled. In the redness one, which is there at the bottom, you get a score for how much underlying redness the face has. In the brown spot one, the same thing, a score for how much underlying melanin is in the skin. Okay, so next slide. This is my face, and this is my redness score. This is over 3 months before taking Lifelong Vitality Daily, after taking Lifelong Vitality Daily. I'm also doing all 6 steps in between these. So even with cleansing, scrubbing, and toning my face every day, people are afraid to scrub their skin if they have redness or rosacea. I did not get an increase in the redness of my face. In fact, The redness in my face decreased 55%, which means the inflammation in my face came down 55%. Take a screenshot of this. Go ahead and show it to people. This is important because if you are trying to share with other people how this works and that it does work, this is your objective proof. Next slide. Brown spots. This is one of our participants. We're deeply grateful to her for sharing this with us. I want you to specifically look at this brown spot that I've pointed the arrow to in both of these. So the browns in your skin are in there. They start in between the dermis and the epidermis, and then they slowly migrate out of the epidermis. The vitamin C in the brightening gel is going to encourage a faster, exfoliation of those. And then the frankincense in your tightening serum speeds that process up so that it's turning over at the healthy rate it should be. So in this person, after 3 months, she was applying the brightening gel in this area of her face where she had a pretty dark liver spot, and she was able to lift that entirely. This is just the brightening gel and the tightening serum with Cleanse Scrub Tone beforehand. I don't think if she had done the Cleanse Scrub Tone, she would have seen as good of results because it wouldn't have been able to penetrate as well. But this is remarkable. I would have hoped my lasers could do this in the office as well. And I would be curious if my pharmaceutical grade products would result in this after just 3 months. So I was really impressed. Next slide. So this is scarring, and I apologize, I have these flipped. The one on the left is after, the one on the right is before. This person has little pock marks from acne that cause scarring and hyperpigmentation. And you can see this was Cleanse Scrub Tone and the products, but we added one more thing here. We're doing a special event to teach you how to use this in person. This is with microneedling. I do not encourage you to start microneedling on your own without education. It's really important that it's done correctly so you don't cause more scarring and you don't cause infection, but we can teach you how to do this. And this is just the mechanical microneedling with doTERRA products, and it's a big improvement. Next slide. So finally, then aging and looking at these fine lines and wrinkles under the eye. And what we're seeing is a decrease in the afters of the number of wrinkle lines that people have. I would expect this to take at least 3 to 6 months to start seeing an improvement. That's what I tell people when they buy the retinol prescription grade eye creams from me. To see this after just 3 months using the doTERRA eye cream is really remarkable to me. The people who saw the best results were doing all the steps and taking the LLB. And these results are continuing to come in, so we'll be able to update this over time as well. Okay, next slide. Here we go. All right, so when we talked about all of this at the EcoTrust, there were a number of questions. It's 12:48. I'm going to answer a few of those questions right now. One of them was about the neck, and I love this question, and I'll show off my 48-year-old neck. The neck skin is different than face skin, right? It's a lot like your under eye skin. It has fewer sebaceous glands, no hair follicles, I hope, because I can pull the long hair out of my neck. But it's really different than the skin up here. It responds very similarly to your under eye skin. So my suggestion for next, cleanse, scrub, and tone your neck. And then your brightening gel and your tightening serum are going to work amazing down there. I think creating a mask for your neck out of essential oils and the hydrating cream is awesome. If you want to keep it simple, even just your Immortelle with the hydrating cream is a great way to go with the neck. But be sure you're cleanse, scrubbing, and toning it beforehand, because the products will work even better. Understand that the collagen remodeling is a process that takes 60 to 90 days. So it's not overnight results, but it's small daily doses all the time of this that are going to result in the greatest changes. Other questions that we get often, what about these deep lines here? What about these jowls? So don't let anybody trick you into believing that you could put something on your face topically and it would take care of things that are related to volume loss in the face. So when I frown like this and get lines here and I get those creases, that's not something that a topical product is going to get rid of. These nasolabial folds, marionette lines, and jowling, topically, nothing's going to fix that. But I have tricks for you that are helpful. So when you think about a little kid's face, their faces are shaped like upside down triangles, and the highlight of their face are their eyes. So anything you can do to brighten the area around your eyes, hello brightening gel, is going to take the focus back up to your eyes. You want a full eyebrow. So a little bit of scrub out here, trying to get your follicles to function better at the edge of your eyebrow is important. We want the focus back up here so we're not distracted by all of the jowling that starts to happen in the lower part of our face. Now, there's also fine lines and wrinkles that happen along with some of the sagging of the skin, and you can improve that. And you do that with, the tightening gel and some of the other products. So there are things you can do, but I also want you to know what the limits are to your topical skincare products. Tiffin, you are just flying through these things. It's totally fine. So this is what we have for you. Tiffin's going to come back on and talk about anything else that we have going on in October. But we're happy to answer any questions. You can follow us both on Instagram for more information. It's at Tiffin's Blue, TIFFINBLU, and at Dr. Jodee, doctor spelled out DORCTORJODEE on Instagram, and we have more information for you there. Tiff, I'm going to let you pop back on.
Yeah, we have, what do we have here? Oh, right here. We're going to put in the feed of the Facebook, probably under Essential Wellness, but when you contact either Jodee or I through Instagram at Tiffin's Blue or at Dr. Jodee, you can place an order for sunscreen if you want, or the High Vibe Skin Serum. This is what the skin serum looks like. It is incredible. And then this is, right now, we've just repackaged, but this is what the tinted looks like. It is incredible, and it matches my skin tone all the way up to a dark, dark brown. And you just blend it in. This is what Jodee and I have on. This is what I have on right now. So the skin serum is 88, the tinted is 44, and we will put a Google Doc so you can just send that through. If you're here in Portland, you can get it at Fresh Faces, or you can connect with us. And then we have all the different prices for your oil tools, but I would encourage you to just go to youroiltools.com. And then in the search window, just put in High Vibe, and we'll come right up.
Hey, Tiffin.
Yes.
Some people are asking if we can maximize you and minimize the slides.
Maximize, oh, yes.
If you have more to talk about.
Maybe.
Just stop your screen share and that will happen. There we go.
How is that? Now I can see the chat before I couldn't. Okay. Okay, now I can look at the chat and see if we have questions. Okay. What else do we need? Oh, you couldn't see what we were holding up. Here, I'll hold it up. This is the High Vibe Skin Serum.
And we love that with microneedling. This is actually FDA approved to use with microneedling. And that's really important. When you watch these random people on YouTube microneedling their face, they are really setting themselves up for dermatitis, for scarring, for infection. There's a way to do this that's safe, and Tiffin and I want to teach you that so that you get the benefits of it, but you don't have the risks associated with it.
I see a question here that says, why only use eye cream around the eye? Is it okay to use all over?
The eye cream is okay to use all over. It's going to be a little bit thicker, and it'll be, there isn't that much in the tube. So if I had a giant jar of it, I would smother it all over my neck. It's the perfect stuff for eyes and neck.
Something else about that we shared on Monday night that I'm going to share here, because if you have any sinus or seasonal threat issues, I am a perfect example of this. You can see right here, I am completely swollen. And then right here, I'm not, because I just took it. I take the cold roller ball and start in here and go around. And once you've done that a couple times, I normally do it while I'm drinking my coffee. Just roll and roll and roll. And then I dab cypress like this. And then I layer rose on top of it, and that will really dramatically reduce swelling in the morning.
There's a question here about any concerns about using brightening gel during the day and then being in the sun. No, just don't use your photosensitizing oils. And as Tiffin, I guess that's the other thing, Tiffin, that I just want to bring up, because you've had this skin cancer issue. We really feel passionate about our sunscreens, and she's showing you the tinted there. That one's great. The sheer is great, but you're getting UV in so many ways, even through windows. So you are safe to use the brightening gel in the morning and to be outside, but don't go outside without sunscreen. Find a way to make it a part of your daily.
Yeah, ever. Sunscreen is a must, especially if you're doing all of this work to make your skin glow. The last thing you want to do is all this beautiful skin that you've like, all of it that's turning over, you have these healthy new cells. The last thing you want to do is burn them up with sun. I mean, sunscreen is a big passion for me now. Whether you do all the things of wearing protective clothing, whatever it is really important to wear sunscreen.
The other thing people asked about sunscreen the other night was about reapplying. And, you know, if you're outside swimming or sweating, working out, you definitely have to reapply. The reason they have the reapplication rules are generally with the chemical sunscreens because they deactivate over about 2 hours. With the micronized zinc and the titanium, if you're sitting in an office all day, it's not going anywhere. So in that sense, it's not like you're reapplying this stuff all day long. It'd be great at 3 o'clock to give yourself a boost, go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, put a little bit more on. But if you're not active and out in the sun, you don't have to sit there and think about reapplying it 5 times a day.
And she's talking about ours specifically because we have so many things in here. Ours is not a basic sunscreen. It's loaded with moisturizers, which is why she said cleanse, scrub, tone, and then she's moisturizing her face and she's protecting it.
I'm soothing it, girl.
Soothing it. I was just kidding. She's soothing it. So anyway, all right. So I think we have more slides that I'm supposed to show. 1 second. I'm going to share again. One more sharing. I'm super good on the technical side. Really glad we had me doing this. Awesome. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Start living your doTERRA today. And then hold on, we have Aisha over here. I'm going to see if I can unmute Aisha. I'm not sure how to do that. I don't know how to unmute. Oh. I hit a button. Here we go. All right, here's how we do this. For those of you who do not have doTERRA.
Hold on, Tiffin. I'm sorry.
Do what?
There's a few questions on the Facebook page. I just found these.
You know what? Let's do this really quick. I'm going to close for those that are on here that don't know how to do it. Perfect. And then we will answer questions after because we really want to honor the 1 hour. And then we'll stay on a little bit longer as a bonus to answer some questions. So for those of you that are looking to get started with doTERRA, there are 3 ways to join. The first way is you can buy retail. If you want to buy retail, go to Fresh Faces and go ahead and buy it from Jodee. You can pay full price. It's a great way to do that. Or you can buy it wholesale, where you get 25% off every doTERRA product, any doTERRA product for a year. Or you can do it the smartest way. You can do it the way Jodee and I should do it, and that is below wholesale. And that is with a doTERRA wholesale account. And below wholesale, when you want to get started, the best way to do that, the biggest bang for your buck, is to start with one of these kits. There's massive savings on that. The kit that's in front of you here is the Natural Solutions kit. And it is really, it's like a mini diamond kit. It's the best way to get your family started. It's 5 different ways to get this wellness into your home. And then I'm so good with the technical. It's unbelievable. There you go. And if you have any more information, Essential Wellness Community, www.essentialwellness.life is where you can find that. And then I'm going to stop screen sharing and we can answer a couple questions.
Okay, so Kim has a bunch of questions on Facebook. First, she says she came to our class on Monday night. If I have multiple skin issues, aging, brown spots, redness, which order should I work on them? I always say start with redness, and your biggest combator for that, antioxidants, inside and outside. Aging and brown spots are great to work on together, but I always say start with redness. It says, second question, on the back of the Daily Vibe, it has essential oils listed twice, tone and treat. Which spot do you recommend using the rollerball recipe on the front of the card? I don't understand the question. Tiffin, see if you can look and see what she's talking about.
Okay.
Their third question, I noticed on the aging and brown spots cards, in the Seuss section, it recommends using the anti-aging moisturizer, Immortelle hydrating serum, and the Virage moisturizer. So those are all 3 different ones. All of them are fine to use with those conditions. You just need to pick one. And that was her question.
Pick the one you like. Pick the one that smells the best, that elicits the best emotional response for you.
Well, or, yeah, that works.
Out of the 3 that are on there, yeah.
So Francine is asking about the doTERRA mask products, and they're really drying, and there are a few ingredients in there both Tiffin and I are concerned about. So just in terms of what they do to your epidermal barrier. So I'm not a big fan of the mask products. Stephanie is asking about the jade and rose quartz rollers. In terms of the science behind using those on your face, I can't find much. So I can see how they might be able to help move lymph around, and I know there are energy reasons to use those, but in terms of the science and impacting your skin health, I don't have a lot to back those up. I think that's all the questions. So let me see if I can figure out this one from Kim. Which spot do you recommend using the rollerball recipe on the front of the card?
Which card? The redness?
No, she says on the back of the Daily Vibe, it has essential oils listed twice. And then, sorry, Kim, we're not really understanding the middle of your questions. If you get another one posted quick, we might be able to answer it. All right, that's all I've got.
Okay, great. The other thing too is before you go crazy with this, right? I know a lot of us get really compulsive. I talked to some friends. I went on a trip and they're like, okay, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. Just small in, okay? Cleanse, scrub, and tone. When you cleanse, scrub, and tone, and then you soothe and you protect, when you do these steps first, it's very simple. We added these roller balls because y'all are crazy for rollerball recipes. You're crazy for them. So we made some for you. But truly, cleanse, scrub, and tone. And if you need some extra help, there's oil spotlights that can give you that extra zhuzh at the bottom of this. But truly, get to the basics. Make sure you're taking your LLV at least twice a day. It can be the smallest dose, it can be the full dose, whatever works for you, but make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're hydrating. Make sure you're doing all the nourish stages, and you're cleansing, scrubbing, toning, and protecting. I'd recommend our skin screen, or soothing and protecting. Make sure you're doing that first. Like, don't go crazy with these roller balls. These are really put on there. So if you did a class and you bought a pack of 10, you could teach this TerraPad and you could talk to everybody in the class about redness, and you could do like a little make and take together. It's really simple.
And then I finally figured out, sorry, Kim, I got your question. This was brought up in the class too, and I'm sorry I didn't pick this up. So when to put the oils on your face.
Yeah.
So there's two thoughts around I totally agree with Tiffin around the rollerball recipes, but you're exactly right. Cleanse, scrub, tone. And then you're going to use especially at night, you're going to use your rollerball after that tone phase. Now, I like to put my oils on right after I tone. And then I do at night my brightening gel, my tightening serum, my eye serum. I like them as close to my fresh open skin as possible. Now, there are people in this community who just want to use oils on their face and don't want to do any of the rest of these things, which will work. That's why there's a essential oil highlight at the bottom of all the steps. So what that would look like is you would cleanse with fractionated coconut oil and rose oil. And you may add a little melaleuca if you're somebody who has more of an acne or a rosacea issue. You would scrub with your frankincense, and you might decide that you were going to use green mandarin because you want a little bit more turnover with that. You would tone with geranium and cypress. You may choose to add some witch hazel or something else more natural to that. So you could, and there's an essential oil, yarrow palm is in the treatment step. For soothing, you've got your helichrysum. So there's no essential oil that's going to give you the sun protection that you need. But for all the rest of the steps, if you were just a pure oil person, I don't want any of these products, you could do it that way too. But I have to re-underline what Tiffin said, LLV. 80% of how your skin looks is what you're doing from the inside out. Okay.
Okay, it is 1:04. Do we have any questions through the chat? There's a Q&A here. Let me just see really quick, make sure we didn't. Any concerns about sun exposure after using the brightening gel? I think you answered that.
I did. No concerns.
Okay, no concerns. Although you should always use sunscreen or some sort of way to protect your skin. Get a big old hat. Get some linen shirts. Do whatever you can. If you want to live, and feel younger longer, you will protect your investment.
If you want to learn a little bit more about how UV light affects your skin, at Dr. Jodee, DoctorJodee, in my Insta, what are those called? TV, my IGTV. There's a little teaching video on how UV light is affecting your skin.
And that's also, we give skincare tips all the time. So if you're not in our organization or on our teams, Jodee and I are actually on different teams. If you're not in either of our organizations, that is how we're giving tips. And then when we advertise our classes on Instagram, you're more than welcome to attend them. If they're on Instagram, there's a place to RSVP and you're welcome to come. We are doing free public classes at least once a quarter now. They're longer. We sometimes do workshops. So if this is something you're interested in, share that with your friends. And we're going to keep developing the High Vibe. We have lots of exciting things coming up with that, so you can stay tuned. But we also worked really hard to really reasonably price these products so that a customer can really enjoy them. If you have a team of customers, this is great. They can use this and enjoy this. And then if you're building the business, we have something else. We wanted to address both. Is that it? Okay. Have a great day. Stay high vibe. I have to figure out how to stop recording. Holy crap. Aisha's not on here anymore. Hold on.